What's going on, my friends? I do hope that you are well. I said that this year I'm going to get on and I'm going to start talking about some things about sync licensing. Do a little series on some things I know some of you guys want to know, and really just giving you my take on it. There's a lot of people out there talking about it. It blows my mind that, that we talk about this all the time, especially a lot of people at the conference, that a lot of people catch on to doing sync licensing, but it's not a lot of people know about it as much as you think they do. You think it's oversaturated. Anybody that spends their whole time thinking things are oversaturated is not going to get anything accomplished, that's for sure. We'll talk about that later. But what I want to do here in my first part of this series, this is going to be part one. Before I even get started on it, I want to preface some things here. I want to talk about some things. I'm just sitting here doing some music, doing some dramedy stuff this morning, and I'm finishing that album up. And I said, let me just get on and just start part one. Now, I've got to leave out of town for a few weeks here in about a week, so I'm going to be on a cruise down in Hawaii, and I don't know. I may turn on the camera when I'm on the boat and talk about some things I don't know, but I'll be doing a little bit of music while I'm on the boat, that's for sure, and managing to get that done while I'm trying to have a good time, because that's what you don't go on a cruise to work all the time. You want to have a good time. That's the whole point of it. But be it that it may. I want to preface some things. Before I get started on this series, I want you guys to understand some stuff. First and foremost, out of all this, whether some of you may agree with it or not agree with it, that's okay. I would ask to just, chime in below if you've been doing this a long time. If I've missed something, I'm always into learning something new. It's the whole point of this. I've been doing it since 2010, so there's still always something I can learn, especially in creating new music, as you say. It's just a lot of stuff sometimes I wish I'd have done years ago, just now doing now. But there's a reason why things happen and the time and the manner at which they happen. So I don't question that. I'm going along the journey and figuring it out, And I've been doing it since 2010. So like I say, I'm not against that. But just keep your comments, please, just respectful. Keep them, nice. That's what we're all about. We're all here to learn from each other. And I'm going to pass on some things that work for me. I don't claim whatsoever to be the be-all, end-all. I'm not. I'm just passing on some things that work for me. And I think that's really the case with a lot of these channels. There are guys that are really good at teaching and educating. I'm not really one of those individuals. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be selling you a course. Honestly, I think there's some people out there trying to do that, do little ebooks and courses. They haven't been in this long enough to be doing that. And I don't really think they should be. But you do you do what you want to do. But I will tell you this. Out of everything that I'm telling you here, I encourage you to follow other channels. I encourage you to listen to as many people as you can. I think you're going to figure out the pattern of where the good information is and where the not so good information is with some people. I think you're going to find there's more good information out there than there's bad information. I really do think that is the case. But just be careful, I want you to please just listen to my videos. Just listen to them. Just take your time, take notes, watch them, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through everything that I can, and I'm still, in the course of time, things that I miss or I want to talk about with it, I'm going to add in this series. I'll get on randomly as I always do and maybe talk about it a little bit, something I feel I've missed. If there's something I've missed and you've got questions about it, ask. If I don't have the answer, I know some people that can get me that answer. Believe you me, I know people that can get me that answer. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to know everything. It's a whole part of this. But I can definitely get you the answer if you have a question. But just watch them, please, because at the end of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show you some resources, some books, some YouTube channels I've already mentioned, and some places that you need to follow and you need to read this stuff and stuff that's so valuable, that's helped me and it's helped a lot of other people, from some really good and incredibly talented people. And just watch these videos before you dig into that and start, going in it. Because hear me out in what I have to say. Just hear me out and follow me. But I want you to understand that it's a marathon, it's not a race. Take your time, learn this. Learn the things about this business and how things work, and especially learn about how the music is composed. There's a big difference between doing production music and doing music for the masses that you released for your fans out there. There's a difference in how you compose this in a manner of one is production music and the other is more of an artistic, and some people have a problem with production music. They can't do it. Like, it just kills my artistic value and kills everything. I just can't do it. But, you can do it. You just have to flip the switch. And the one thing I will tell you about production music and getting into sync licensing is you're going to have to flip that switch more than one time when it comes to either writing production music from doing artistic music, which production music, contrary to anybody's belief, is artistic. It's creative. It's creative more than you realize. It really is. And you've got to love music as a whole to do this. But you're going to be flipping that switch from working on one thing and all of a sudden you get a brief and you got to stop, put that on pause and do something else. Sometimes you may be multitasking. Depends how deep you want to get into this. What do you want to do? You're going to get a time where you're going to start working with libraries. You're going to be sending your briefs. We're going to talk about a lot of what to and what not to do in regards of conquering every genre. There are things I've mentioned. Don't conquer every genre. Do what you do best. But there are things you can be diverse about and do more than one genre, but you can be diverse by doing stuff that's hybrid and various other things. And we'll talk more about that later. But just learn this and understand some things. And I want you to understand that what I tell you and what I present to you, you need to please understand that, like anything you do in the world, you have to have some professionalism about you. You have to approach people and you have to have respect for people. And there are things you should do and should not do in this business. Some of you watching have been in sync and you know what I'm talking about. There's just a way of going by doing things. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to cover some things that there are things that you do that could kill your career quicker than getting it started. You could be dead in the water. I know some individuals right now that have pretty much burnt their bridge. They just don't know it yet. They're grasping for straws trying to work with people when some people, they're not really composers. They're just kind of latching on trying to get half writers. And they're amazing sync agents or middlemen because they can connect with these people, but they were doing things early on that were not cool that now everybody knows about. Because I'm going to tell you, one of the most important things I will tell you about sync licensing in the music business, you got a lot of libraries out there. There's a lot of ones popping up, and we'll talk about that later too when you're looking for libraries on some of that frustration. But it's a big industry, but it's a very small industry because people talk. I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand. I've been in the middle. I've sat in the middle of this group of people and several other people that talk. They talk, folks. Word gets out. And I'm telling you, it gets out because there are people in private groups. There are a lot of supervisors that talk. There are a lot of library owners talk to each other. Composers talk to each other. You've seen, if you've been in some of these Facebook groups, you've seen where people are frustrated about certain libraries or certain composers doing unethical things. There's just some things that you may not be unethical about, but you may not understand that you should and should not do. Best example I tell you is spamming libraries. Don't do it. Don't send your music to about 100 different libraries when you've got to say yes to one of them. Because you spam your music to 100 different libraries and you say yes to one, and 80 or 90 of them come back with, we'd like to take your music, and you say no to them, you just burnt 80 to 90 bridges. First small thing I can tell you. Please understand, this is what you need to understand about this. A lot of things that you read and you sign, we're going to talk about all this stuff. But I'm asking that just follow me. Again, some watching may not agree with everything I say, but I'm passing on things that work for me. I want you to also remember that everybody's journey is different. This is one of the most important things I can tell you. We all have it. I've done it. And I still go, man, what is that guy doing that I'm not doing? Like kind of envying somebody else. And I mean, it's natural because you want to get to that point. And I'm still working on that. I don't think any of us are 100% where we want to be musically. But you have to understand that try not to compare yourself to other people because your journey is going to be different than somebody else. It's the same thing when I start talking about libraries you find. People always ask, give me some good libraries. Well, that doesn't mean somebody could give you these libraries and refer them, but that doesn't mean you're a fit for those libraries. Your journey is different from their journey. You got to find the relationships. You got to find what you do best. You've got to find the libraries and the people that place a lot of what you do best. And your working relationship with them. Listen, they may place a lot of what you do, but you are just not a fit for that library. You're not, I can't, it's hard to explain, but it's like relationships. Something's just not going to click with that library, and you need to move and find that one library that you work with best. But I will also say that don't ever stop looking, and we'll talk about that later. That's another thing we'll talk about later, is that you want to always keep your mind open. You always want to be diverse, and we'll talk about that too. So I want to preface some things that, just please, with what I say, with any information anybody else gives you, please just be careful, learn this, and I'm not trying to scare anybody that's new in this industry, but you need to just learn to do the right thing. You really do. And I think it's with anything you do in life. I don't think it's just the music industry. There are things you could do wrong in any industry that you work in, and there are rules and rules to the game in every form of industry, but there's also the right and wrong way of doing things, Music isn't the only thing I've ever done in my life. I come from the technology industry. I have a degree in electronics engineering technology. I've worked in the technology from computers to telecommunications to computer network systems to audio, you name it. Music and technology is my biggest background, but I've also owned retail businesses that had nothing to do with any of it. So I've got some business sense. I've got some understanding, and that's the journey in life. All of our journeys are different. There are people that are doing other things besides music, and music is a love and a passion. They want to do both. Don't concern yourself with anything else you do. Just concentrate on the music and what you love. Don't worry about whether you're working another job. I've talked about that. We're going to talk about that further. I've had people on at the music conference talking about this stuff and various other things. So just follow me. I just want to preface this stuff that please, everything I tell you, just take your time. It's a marathon. It's not a race. I want you to just take notes on what I'm doing, and I'm going to refer you to some other people that I want you to go in further with. I'm not trying to sell you something with them. I'm not trying to I get a cut of that course. No, I'm just referring you to some things that I've done, and personally I can tell you they work. And we'll do that on the end. I'm going to get that video to you. I want to pass on some really cool books. Some I've talked about, some YouTube channels, some Facebook groups, some people that are very successful you need to follow. And I think that at the end of the day, it's enough to get you started. But as I said at the beginning of this video, don't just watch me. There's a lot of other good people out there you need to follow as well, and you need to learn. So anyway, I wanted to preface this real quick. I didn't want to make it too long, but I'm going to get on. I'm going to start talking about this, and I think I need to kind of look at the first thing I'm going to talk about here, and I'll get it started here this year. I'm going to get it started, and I don't know how many videos it's going to take. Could be 3, 4, 5, could be 10, 15, 20. But as I said, there'll be others that I will randomly get on, and I will probably talk about some things, and I will put it in this playlist. But the one big thing at the end of it I ask for is that if you do, just subscribe to me and hit like on this stuff, please. You don't have to watch all my videos. You don't have to follow them all, but just maybe it'll help me with some subscriptions and some likes. I know a lot of other people would love to watch. I know there's a lot of channels out there. I mean, people just get bombarded with the subscribes. I wouldn't even begin to tell you, because I haven't looked at how many channels I've subscribed to, that some I watch still and some I don't. A lot of them. But I do it because I think it helps them. I don't mind subscribing or at least hitting some likes. It's kind of the cool thing to do, Helps that algorithm too with people who really want to get on YouTube. My biggest concentration is music. I don't aspire to be like a big YouTuber, but I also do enjoy getting on and talking about my experiences musically. So I'll get this started, and you'll know it when I do. And I appreciate you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you again for watching. Be cool.